All right, welcome back, everyone. Weather for Weather Geeks Tuesday evening edition. We've got another video chock full of details on the upcoming storm, but once again, you will not see me this evening say there will be this amount of snow coming up for the for the weekend system, I should say, because we're still too far away and there's still too much we don't know. If you're looking for specific totals, a forecast this far out for a storm that is still 4 or 5 days away, you are barking up the wrong tree. I'm going to tell you all about the impacts and put this in perspective and everything like that, but we are not set to put in specific numbers and say, hey, here is the forecast just yet. That'll probably change tomorrow and into Thursday. In the meantime, let's talk about the near term. All right, we have a winter weather advisory up for parts of northern Ohio, central Ohio as well. The reason for this, it's not snow, it's a little freezing drizzle that's trying to fall off to our west, and I am concerned about this trying to translate east as we head through the night tonight. It's not going to be much. The entire column of air from the ground up is below freezing. You would think that would mean snow, but not necessarily. If the air is very dry in a certain layer of the atmosphere and it's saturated below that, sometimes you can get liquid falling even when it's below freezing everywhere. Complicated physics that I won't get into tonight, but that's a lot of times at this time of the year how we see freezing drizzle falling out of stratus clouds. It's all about there's a dry air layer a few thousand feet up that prohibits snowflakes from forming. When we take a look at the entire country this evening, most of the action's out west. Now, eventually all this is coming east, but this is a doozy of a storm in California, Los Angeles up to San Francisco, and they're going to get absolutely buried in the Sierra Nevada mountains in California and into Nevada as well. All right, now when we look at Futurecast for tomorrow, you're going to see these blue specks on here, but same idea tomorrow. I doubt there's actually that many snowflakes out there tomorrow. Probably areas of drizzle, maybe a random flurry here and there, but you're going to have to watch for some slick areas in the morning because temperatures, even though they'll rise late tonight, may not get above the magic 32-degree mark until mid to late morning. So any light mist or real light precipitation that falls could make for a little glaze on some surfaces. So again, I don't think it's a huge deal, but it could be one of those sneaky events that leads to some issues tomorrow morning. We're pretty quiet then tomorrow night into Thursday morning. All right, here's our little appetizer system for Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. This will not be nearly as significant as the weekend, but it can still be impactful. Again, this starts early or mid-afternoon on Thursday, continues into Thursday evening, and tapers off probably by midnight at the latest. Here's a look at our model spread. Pay attention to the lines that, from here on back this way, because nothing's coming Friday. Right now, the models are suggesting no more than an inch. I can see where there's up to 2. And I can't even rule out up to 3, especially in Mercer County. That could be the area that has the best chance of getting a little more than 2 out of this. So it's not all the snow in the world, but as we just saw over this past weekend, it only takes a couple of inches to cause some problems on the roadways. So untreated surfaces can get slick during the second half of the day on Thursday, especially after sunset when the snow can stick a little more efficiently. Just allow for maybe a little slower than average travel later on Thursday. All right, let's start talking about the weekend. Here's our confidence grid for the forecast factors here as we look ahead to the weekend. The storm track overall, I put it at low to medium. Now, it's medium confidence in the kind of broad picture. We generally kind of know broadly the storm track, but the fine details of exactly how it's going to track through eastern Ohio and western PA, we don't know that yet, and that has big implications for the precipitation type and the amounts of snow. If this storm track is just far enough north, might have to start talking about sleet and rain and freezing rain in some spots, and that would make for dramatically lower snowfall totals wherever that mixed precipitation were to occur. Now, there may not be any mixed precipitation, but these are the fine granular details that we don't know just yet. Still pretty good confidence on the timing. This is not first thing Saturday morning. It will not be snowing between, say, daybreak and maybe 10 a.m. Increasing chances for snow as we get into the afternoon, and then conditions are going to deteriorate rapidly as we go into Saturday evening, with the snow continuing heavy at times into Saturday night. It'll taper off at some point on Sunday, probably before noon, but the worst of this is definitely towards sunset Saturday evening and right through the overnight hours. Now, let me back this up. I'm showing you the European model, latest run. And right here in the middle of the night, it gets that rain-snow line awfully close. It's up to the West Virginia Panhandle. It's up to Steubenville and Wheeling, and maybe as far north as East Liverpool. Do not take this literally. This will not be surely this far out. This will not be exactly where the rain-snow line is. but it just illustrates how, there's a saying in meteorology, if you want a really big snowstorm, you need to be close enough to the rain to smell it. And this is a classic example of that. We could be real close to this rain snow line, but just north of there could be the zone, just the crush zone of really, really heavy snow. And if everything works out a certain way, that could be right over our television viewing area. Could be. Again, things we don't exactly know yet. Either way, it'll be really windy and really cold Sunday and into Sunday night as this storm pulls east. It's going to drag in some pure Arctic air. There's going to be a big pressure gradient between the departing low and high pressure building in from the west, and that means big time wind. All right, I did cook up this graphic. It's not a forecast per se as far as here's how much is going to fall, but I did want to kind of throw out a first call on the odds of a pretty big storm. And we're going to define, for our purposes in this video, a big storm is 6 inches or more. Now, in your book, that may not be a big storm, but it's kind of an arbitrary figure, but I'm going to pick 6 inches as saying, here's your odds of getting a big storm or 6 inches or more. The farther south you are, the lower the odds are because of that chance, things we don't know yet, but a chance of some sort of mixed precipitation. I think the farther north you are, the lower the chances of something other than snow falling, and therefore the odds of 6 inches or more go up. Now, saying it's a lock this far out, that might be a little ambitious. I might replace it's a lock with very likely. Wouldn't want to make any guarantees here on Tuesday for a storm that's Saturday into Sunday, but I really am pretty confident at this point that areas from Cleveland to Erie and maybe as far south as I-80, that's a zone that's very likely we're going to see a lot of snow out of this. So that's my first kind of snow map. We'll get into a much more detailed snow map, of course, with specific accumulation forecasts tomorrow or Thursday, depending on what the model trends are and how much confidence we have in those model trends. All right, so the weather type and the timing here. Here's your clock times at the top. This is Saturday. This is Sunday. The heaviest of the snow, mid-afternoon through about daybreak on Sunday, making for very difficult travel. The worst of the wind will be Sunday, with gusts perhaps to 40 or 45. That will, at the very least, create wind chills that'll be below zero. But then we've got a problem with blowing and drifting snow late Saturday night and into Sunday. And that could, it's not going to be snowing real hard, actual snow falling from the sky Sunday afternoon. But the sideways blowing of snow could create borderline blizzard conditions, even though there won't be much snow falling. The definition of a blizzard has to do with the visibility primarily, and if the visibility is low enough due to blowing snow for X number of hours, then you technically have blizzard conditions. So that's something we'll be watching out for. Another thing, that could be a serious problem if we get a real dumping of snow followed by all this wind, power outage problems Sunday into Sunday night. That could be a real big deal if that happens because it'll be so cold. So breaking this down on what to expect day by day, again, snow arrives Saturday afternoon, strengthening wind Saturday evening. I do think the wind will be most impactful on Sunday with blowing and drifting snow. And then Monday, there's probably still some lingering flurries or snow showers, but the bigger story, it's going to be really brutally cold and windy out there. I've got an air temperature high of 12 in the forecast for Monday, wind chills below zero all day, and I do think those wind chills will be way below zero Monday night and into Tuesday morning, making for school adjustments for some of our local districts, if not all of them. All right, so that's taking us through the snow and the wind. We get a little bit of a respite, it looks like, middle of next week. I do think that after this cold shot over the weekend and Monday, look what happens as the pattern relaxes briefly for a few days. And even though it's not a heat wave, this is a milder pattern for a few days, starting around Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. But once that leaves us, and that probably happens very late next week or into the following weekend, then winter's really going to drop the hammer for a while. And this will be the most consistently really cold weather we've had so far this winter. And this looks like the final 5 days of January and right into February. So this is a cold-looking weather map for, say, Saturday the 26th, Sunday the 27th. That's a lot of cold air dumping out of the Arctic regions and cascading right down into the U.S. So late January and February looking pretty harsh at this point. Now, how much snow does that come with? Well, that's a tougher call. But stormy, cold pattern. You can just about lock that in now, it looks like, for the end of January and through at least the first part of February. All right, that's it for Weather Geeks tonight. Boy, we're going to be talking about snow and cold for quite some time, and we'll have more details on the Thursday system and the weekend system on future editions of Weather Geeks. I'll have fresh model data coming in before the 11 o'clock news tonight, so I'll have updates on, well, not only the freezing drizzle possibilities for tonight, but also for the Thursday system. We'll see if the new modeling has any different ideas for Thursday. I doubt it. I think it's, in the grand scheme of things, not a lot of snow, but it could be impactful for your Thursday evening commute. All right, have a great night, everyone.